have that same belief.
To tell a lie, you gotta know the truth.
Yeah.
To tell a lie, you gotta know the truth.
Oh yeah, no, I don't like Mormons.
No, I'm just saying that nobody would follow them if everything they said, the sky is green. They just start saying all this weirdo stuff that don't line up. They have to have some points that line up.
Yeah.
You know,
that's where I connected it, because I took a Native American course and the professor was Mormon and he was telling us that.
Right.
And then when I seen you guys talk about this, I put the two together.
Yes, sir.
And I was like, and what I think is interesting about Native American people, like my ancestors, is that we didn't with people that have one side of the world all to ourselves. Like every other race was kind of more together.
Somebody
and
get
then you have one only
Second
one group of
13,
people that had an entire continent.
All of these tribes right here, from Simeon on down, they had that whole side of the world. They talk about what along with the Native Americans, the New Central and South America. You know, they
North Central and South.
And they were over here, what, 2,000 years prior to this land being so-called inhabited by the the Europeans.
They colonized. How these people got over here is contained in biblical history.
I'm gonna bring out Marie right now. Now, Christopher Columbus, he read second Ezra 13, what I'm about to read. That's how he knew his Israelites were over. And how he knew to bring Hebrew interpreters.
And how who knew?
Christopher Columbus. Cristobal Colon was his real name. Second Ezra chapter 13, verse 40. These are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hoshea the king, whom Salmanasar, the king of Assyria, led away captive. And he carried them over. Now that was the king of Assyria that had us northern kingdom captive. Because the southern kingdom was prophesied to go into captivity under the Babylonians, and then the northern went first under the Assyrians. So when the Assyrians finally released us, they were like, hey, let's get out of here, because we knew that this happened to us because we weren't obedient to Heavenly Father. We wouldn't keep the laws. Is it going to say that in that chapter?
And
you got it. Yep, and we may keep it. You got it. 2 Kings 17. Oh, yeah. Out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasar, the king of Israel, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land. Yep.
Where's that? What book is that?
Second Ezra.
It's in the Apocrypha.
Or the 1611.
1611, yeah.
Yeah, it's in the 1611.
I thought it said second what?
Second Ezra chapter 13, verse 40.
Yes.
Ezra. It's the same, it's the Greek way to say Ezra, which is in the conventional Bible, because they took some out. They claimed because it was written in Greek, but the New Testament was written in Greek. So it's part of the Old Testament that was also written in Greek. And then show me your Bible. That's the complete Bible. Show it to me. Yeah, that's the full 1611. Right. Right.
So it has,
You see why they purposely took that out of there, right?
Yeah. You see what you're learning out of it. That's why they took it out.
This vital
Is that
history.
a new name, or is that the
that's the Greek way of saying Ezra. Tell them.
Yeah. And show them the first page of the Apocryphal Bible. Sure.
second Ezra? So go ahead, pop it up.
Yeah. And look, you'll see this right here. He's about to show you. And that word there, apocrypha, means away hidden.
Yeah, hidden.
Sent away hidden. So they hid those things, that information, and it's part of what kept our people asleep, spiritually asleep. Because there's clues like what you just asked that will tie you back to being the righteous people with the words that we're reading right now.
And those are what you wear because they have the shingles, huh?
The fringes.
The fringes.
The Bible says don't wear a strange garment.
Yep.
Yeah, it says something
Mingled.
about shingles.
Yep.
Fringes.
The border of blue,
goes back to the law.
Yeah.
Yep.
Numbers.
Fringes represents the commandments. The border blue represents the covenant. Yep.
And we're wearing
Native Americans actually wore these.
We wear the fringes. Same thing on ponchos. Same setup as a poncho. What's the other one? It's a poncho, right?
Yeah, poncho.
Yeah.
the garments represent mourning. We're supposed to wear sackcloth because our prophets wore sackcloth because we are in a prophesying bad news, and we're in a state of mourning because look at our people. We're captive. You know.
2 Ezra 13 and 41, but they took this counsel among themselves that they will leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into another country where never mankind dwelt.
Whenever mankind dwelt. Now you said
I was here.
over here, nobody else dwelt here. You know?
Verse 42, that they might keep their statutes which they have never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river.
They're showing you the course that they actually took out of the Euphrates onto the big ocean, and then around, it's going to tell you that it's going around the Horn.
And the time.
For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over.
Now here's what's crazy.
Okay.
That Panama Canal wasn't developed yet. So you always have to go around the Horn of South America as well to sail around, as well as the Horn of Africa. And getting out of the land of Israel, they have to go around the Horn of Africa. The Negroes, or the top three tribes, the Southern Kingdom, I mean, they already walked to the west coast of Africa, where they got loaded and then picked up where that same current brought the Northern Kingdom around the Horn of Africa and across the sea right there.
But he said he had to hold still the floods because around that current it's tough to travel around that south, you know, where South America is at the bottom of Africa.
Catch the wrong current, you end up in Antarctica.
It's tough.
Y'all kind of mixing it.
No, I'm not.
Africa, America, and Africa.
No, I brought those two
Yeah.
showing and tying back to that port
That was good.
for Panama, but you had to sail around. So he's showing you that they have to actually sail around the bottom of Africa to get to the northern side. Anyway, my fault. You got it.
Verse 45, for through the country there was a great way to go, namely for a year and a half.
That's how long it took to get there.
And the same region is called Assyria.
And that's the Americas. And how did they know? Because King David sent a navy over here to get certain things, because no man was over here living. King Solomon, right? Picking up those
Once every
3 years.
Once every 3 years.
Yep. So it's a year and a half back and forth. You know?
In that time period where the 10 tribes, you know, the native tribes, Native Indian tribes, so-called, you know, they came around like 720, 724, 725 BC, somewhere around that time.
Because if you pick up in the Bible, after this part, they don't really talk much about the Northern Kingdom too much until you get to the book of Revelation. Because then still in the old land was these three tribes here. While they're all over in the new land, did you read that they may keep their laws part? Yeah, that we keep the laws, because when you look at the land of Israel on a map, we were the Northern Kingdom was closer to the heathen, to be influenced by the heathen. Okay, so we were picking up their customs and their
idolatry. Heavy idolatry.
Exactly. So
they go through the book of Hosea.
Yes.
It was all about the Northern Kingdom committing idolatry.
Yeah.
So the Lord ended up casting them out of the land of Samaria.
Yep.
Well, you still had the kingdom of Judah still in the land until they started doing the same thing that the Northern Kingdom started doing. And then that's when the Lord rose up Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, to come and conquer them. You know. So that's what happened. Now, this is in the Jewish Encyclopedia, Arsareth. The name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the law of Moses until the time of the restoration, according to 2nd Ezra 13:45. Columbus identified America with this land.
Now also, to show you other physical clues, there's a Los Lunas stone. That's a stone, and with New Mexico, I think that one is. It's written, the commandments in Hebrew. The 10 commandments are written in Hebrew. It's in the Paleo Hebrew, not the Assyrian Hebrew. As well as, we came out of Egypt doing what? Building up pyramids and different stuff, building up the civilization before we wandered in the wilderness and went into our own land, right? So what did we find over in this land over here?
Since you're on South America and North America,
pyramids. Our people building those again because that was a habit that we were building. You know, so those are some of the clues that the same people that built those pyramids in ancient Egypt built these over here, tying those people to the same works.
Hey, if somebody could find that scripture on Issachar about how he had the understanding of the times, I think it's in Chronicles.
Yeah.
Because that also ties in with how they have the knowledge of the constellation, the astrology and the constellation. dealing with the Aztecs and the Mayan calendars and stuff like
The
that.
Incas.
The Incas. All that is right there in the scriptures. That's part of our. They actually had that ability. The Lord gave them that gift to be able to use that to navigate.
Particular to their tribes. A lot of it's like my woman is so-called Mexican, right? She had a telescope before I ever told her. So I just always like looking up at it. You know, so it's in the tribe spirit to do certain things.
You better believe when they was on those boats coming from that side of the world to this side of the world, they were using that understanding to
there was no other way. When you out in the middle of the sea, it's so vast you can't see land. So all you got is a landmark at the stars.
This is First Chronicles 12 and 32. And the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the times to know what Israel ought to do, the heads of them were 200, and all their brethren were at their commandment.
Yeah.
So they knew how to keep the tokens, the signs, you know, the constellation. All right. So all that information is within these people. All this information has been hidden from the enemy, but now in these last days, the Lord is woken us up.
You said hidden from the enemy?
It's like it was hidden by the enemy from these people. And basically, you come and inquire about this. Ezekiel 37. Get Ezekiel 37. Let's get that. You know?
This is why it's important when you teach. You have to have a stick out there.
I had a stick, man.
You gotta have it.
Ezekiel.
That alone will get people.
16? Stick?
Yeah.
This is Ezekiel 37 and 16. Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it.
And that stick, it means a plank made of wood. Go ahead.
For Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions.
Judah represent the southern kingdom, which is these first three tribes, and then the northern kingdom is the rest of the tribes. Go ahead. Which is Israel, Jerusalem.
Then take another stick and write upon it, for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim.
Ephraim was the head of the northern tribes. All right, go ahead.
And for all the house of Israel, his companions, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thy hand.
Because the kingdom was divided. We were once together at a time under King Solomon and King David, King David and King Solomon. And then it was divided when it got passed down to Rehoboam and Jeroboam because of the sins of Solomon and so on and so forth. Now it's the time that we're gathering the whole nation back together to be one people again. That's why we have all the people on one stick, like it says in the prophecy.
But are you saying those people are like different or all the same? Like are they all
the same man?
All of these people
came out of Jacob.
They all come from the same man, Jacob, Israel.
But were they all, as in black African?
No. This is who they're called today.
Yeah.
This is who they're called today. That's how they're recognized as today.
See, the reason why there seem to be a barrier is because we're identified by the lands that we dwell in. But our people don't have no clue that we were all scattered as a people. And once we were scattered into those lands, our heritage, like it tells you in Jeremiah, it says that we would discontinue from our heritage. You was holding on to that?
I got Jeremiah 50 and 33.
Okay. You can get that too.
It's Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
Meaning all these people, you know, the so-called black, the so-called Latino, indigenous descent, the Native and Seminole Indians, all of these people, what they have in common is we came up under a curse. If you read Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, it goes into a list of curses that would come upon these people if they broke his covenant, if they went against his law, statutes, and commandments. And he gave to us that there would be certain ramifications that would happen. And when you look at it, these people, we actually suffered the exact same atrocities. We all got colonized. We were stripped of our heritage. We were made to speak a language different than what we were speaking before they conquered us. You know, the people down there wasn't